Myanmar police have hit deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi with another criminal charge. She's now accused of violating the country's COVID-19 regulations, adding to an existing indictment which could allow the junta to hold Suu Kyi indefinitely without trial. The move comes as military leaders reiterate their promise to hold new elections amid ongoing protests against the coup across the country.
Keeping up the pressure despite the risks. Workers in the city of Yangon block a railway line, undeterred by the military's growing presence. From students and civil servants to monks, protesters in Myanmar know that their strength lies in numbers. I want more people to join the protests. We don't want to be seen as weak. We, the students, have our future. We have to resist so we won't live under a military dictatorship. Even if there's no special reason to protest, we don't want to be seen as weak. Neither do they. Armored tanks patrol the streets as demonstrators greet them with the three-finger salute that has come to stand for democracy. As soldiers bolster the police, many civilians fear their assets will be seized, with access to banks partially restricted. The military is keeping our money in the bank by force. It's unjust, isn't it? They're limiting the withdrawal amount. Aren't they creating a riot? People here face steep penalties for opposing the coup. Those who obstruct the military or police from carrying out their duties could be imprisoned for up to 20 years. The military insists it intends to hand back power after holding new elections, though a date for such a vote has not yet been announced.
And we are now joined by the UN Special Envoy on Myanmar, Christine Schraner Burgener. Ms. Burgener, thank you for joining us here on DW. As we mentioned, we're now hearing that Aung San Suu Kyi is facing a second charge. You had the chance to speak to the deputy head of the junta in Myanmar on Monday. Were you able to secure any guarantees that the military will refrain from violence and also release her?
Well, this is the intention to avoid violence as much as possible, because I think they are they didn't expect that so many people are going on the street and will not give up. And they created a committee of disobedience, and they will not stop to protest on the street. We also should not forget that we have around 21 ethnic armed organizations in the country who are against this coup. So the potential of violence is very high, and they should avoid this to break up violence, because this could end in a very severe situation.
And you have warned of severe consequences if there is violence, if there is this crackdown by the military. What does that mean? I mean, what is the international community's plan here?
Well, internally in Myanmar, I would assess that the ethnic armed organizations would not allow this. Then also many countries already started to implement targeted sanctions. Other countries will probably follow. I will have probably also soon to brief again the Security Council of the UN and the General Assembly of the UN. And I think unity around the world is very important, that we don't accept this coup.
You mentioned unity, but within the UN Human Rights Council, Russia and China already rejected a resolution condemning this coup. Are you concerned that you will not have unity in the Security Council, that you might not be able to bring sanctions forward?
Well, if there are big players who are not really vocal on protesting against this coup, this will also mean that the majority of the member states are against. So Myanmar will go in a certain isolation if they continue to do this. Therefore, it can't be in the interest of the Myanmar army to continue. And we should see also that it was the first time since I took up my mandate 3 years ago that we had a statement from the Security Council which was accepted by Russia and China.
I want to come back to Aung San Suu Kyi now, because there's also been some organizing among parliamentarians in Myanmar. Members of her party, the NLDP, have set up a committee on Facebook. We're seeing here the page here. It's called the CRPH. It says it is a sole legitimate government of Myanmar. And they say that they've reached out to the UN and other multilateral institutions for recognition. So, Ms. Burgener, I want to ask you, can you confirm that they've contacted you, and would you be willing to support and recognize this group?
I'm as a special envoy who tried to negotiate since 3 years now. I'm in contact with everybody. And also the people in Myanmar, they know me because before the COVID pandemic crisis, I visited Myanmar 8 times per year and stayed always around 3 weeks. So I know everybody there, and clearly I'm stay in contact with them. That's also the reason I would like to travel as quickly as possible back to Myanmar, which is possible because I have a 1-year visa and I could travel, but clearly I have to make also appropriate conditions for my visit.
We'll have to leave it there. The UN Special Envoy on Myanmar, Christine Schraner Burgener. Thank you so much for joining us here on DW.
Thank you.